Welcome friends, Typhlo Ren here with a new narrative-driven campaign playing as the Winter Palace Pretenders, led by Princess Nastasya Roskilnikov. Now, side note for my returning viewers, I know it's been a while since I've uploaded either a Let's Play campaign or a character build video, but as you can see with all my boxes there, I am in the middle of moving to a new place within the next 2 months, so my life outside of YouTube has been pretty chaotic, but with that being said, I do hope to get back to uploading on a semi-regular basis, regardless of whether it's a Let's Play campaign or character build videos. I do absolutely love making those for you guys, but let's get into the nitty-gritty of it with the lore and also what to expect with this roster. Now, I did mention that Nastasya is a princess of Kislev. It is, in fact, lore-friendly. She is, I believe, the half-sister of Katerin, and with that being said, the bastard daughter of Boris Ursus. But what she brings to the table is hybrid Slaanesh Kiselv unit variety types. So we do have the speed and the cavalry of Slaanesh, but we're going to see if it's going to complement the sturdy front lines and flexibility of range units that Kislev brings as well. So taking a look at these faction effects, Beloved Pretender, when a Kislevite city is sacked, razed, a Winter Palace Pretender army will appear to demand retribution. So that's kind of like the devotee system or twisted devotee system of Slaanesh. Benevolent Ruler, when sacking a city, the city can be gifted to a minor Kislevite faction. That's going to be interesting too, just because it's going to be a good way to establish some diplomacy with us and also establish vassals later down the line. Diplomatic relations, plus 40 with Empire, Kislev, Cathay, and Britonia. Interesting that this is going to this might be an order-tied playthrough, as some of you may know. I do like making alliances in Warhammer, and more so for survivability and so that I don't have to fight wars on two fronts. You'll see later on in this Let's Play that the reason I'll be making allies, at least with this character as much as possible, is to provide some shield and buffer zones. Devotees, plus 20 per turn, attribute immune to psychology for Kossar units, and physical resistance, plus 5% for Kossar units. Now, we do spread Slaanesh corruption as expected, and also we do get an additional plus 40 with minor Kislevite factions, and also 100% allegiance points for Kislev as well. Now, taking a look at this map here, we do start off in the eastern part of the Chaos Waste. Unfortunately, we do start pretty close to Archaon. Let's see. I had to pause there for a second, just because I do believe that Kolek is nearby, and also Tamerkhan too. So I might actually try to attack those factions, or try to vassalize or ally myself with them. We'll see how things play out. But also, everyone, let me know in the comments if there are some things that you would love to see me improve upon with this Let's Play campaign. And also, I do plan on making cuts and edits here and there rather than just recording all the way through. I just want to clean things up for you, and also to leave out certain parts that may be considered boring, and also focusing on both the battles, of course, and important campaign actions. Speaking of campaign, let's take a look at which settings I'll be playing on. I will be playing on very hard and hard battle difficulty and campaign settings, just because I do want somewhat of a challenge, but I don't want it to be too insane of a challenge, if that makes sense. I'm also going to be turning off Grudge Too Far and Wild Hunt scenarios, just because lore-wise, Wood Elves and also Dwarves are technically a dying race, or low in number population-wise in the Warhammer Fantasy universe, but Warhammer friends, do correct me if I'm wrong. I am turning on the Chaos Invasion. Both of these, actually. Not sure if they correspond with each other. And also, I don't know if you guys can see it here. Oh, yes, you can. AI stats modifier, I'm not going to touch that too much, just because I personally do not like it when the AI gets cheats. But if you have a personal preference, do let me know what difficulty you like to play on. But let's hop into the campaign. Taking a look at our starting position, we do have an interesting dual start position with our main army led by Nastasya by Stormvac Mount. I will move her up there and actually force march her as far as possible, but the main army we need to focus on right now is led by Narcissism, and we're going to take this army, launch our attack on the Burning Monolith. We are at war with a modded legendary Khorne faction led by Kabanda. Apparently he's in both 40k and Warhammer Fantasy, but that aside, let's take Narcissism, launch our attack on the Burning Monolith. And I am playing with a mod that allows us to keep our seduce units, which I do plan on seducing the Warhounds of Khorne, which are going to show up any second. So we're going to use our seduction mechanic, take their Warhounds of Khorne, just because mainly I want them as a trophy, and they might serve ourselves pretty useful as semi-cavalry, but we're going to fight this battle manually, try to not necessarily reduce casualties, but I do want to sacrifice as many of our devoted marauders, have our Demonettes of Slaanesh and Hellstriders of Slaanesh come in and do the real damage here. Alright, before we begin the battle, I did split my forces up into different control groups with our Demonettes on the left flank and our cavalry with the Hellstriders and Chaos Warhounds on the right flank. I am going to be sacrificing, like I said, most of my devoted marauders of Slaanesh, just because I do really want to free myself of the upkeep later down the line. You guys all probably saw that I had a negative upkeep as well, but we're just going to utilize this secondary army to the best of our ability, and then combine the remaining forces with Nastasya's army. But let's get the battle started. Have every one of these guys move forward, and then I am going to use Narcissism's Lash of Slaanesh on Khorne's forces. I'm assuming they're going... Well, actually, let's hold off on that. That was just me trying to be cheeky and predict where they're going. Alright, move up there. And this shouldn't be an easy shoehorn battle, but like I said, I really want to try to micromanage as much as possible. Alright, that lash could have been better. Pull you back there. Cavalry get in position. Might even be willing to sacrifice a few Demonettes because I know their upkeep is pretty high as well. Yeah, these guys are just going to be there to hold the line. Let's have you fall back, because I know some of my marauders will be retreating. You charge into there, you two charge into these guys. Actually, let's get an initial charge off with our cavalry. Ooh, this is the perfect line for us to pull it off. Ooh, let's get a close-up of this charge in. Alright, pull you guys out immediately. Demonettes, I think I can leave sustained in. Alright, you charge up there. Narcissism, fall back to the right. Ooh, okay. Well, it looks like one unit of... Well, they're just disintegrating en masse right now. Alright, and to the victor go the spoils. Alright, good decisive victory and good battle to get our campaign started off with as well. Now, in terms of micromanagement, I will say that Slaanesh is one of those factions that you can get a lot better with micromanaging your forces, and they're incredibly rewarding to play as well. Keep in mind, too, that as we progress in the campaign, I am going to rely quite a bit more on the Kislev units just because of the fact that I'm going to need a sturdier front line, and I think a sturdy front line with their hybrid missile units are going to complement my cavalry. Taking a look at our options here, we have Enforced Confederation, which is from the mod Slaanesh Steals Faction Leaders. Now, what this does is what it sounds like. Once we've captured the final settlement of our enemy faction, then we force them to join our faction. And it's kind of interesting too, because essentially what this is going to do once I've enforced Confederation is Kabanda becomes one of our lords that we can use, but he's going to be injured, so we can't use him for a few turns. And then we also capture Burning Monolith. So what I'm also going to do here, we keep our Chaos Warhounds of Khorne, and we're going to take Narcissism and force march him as far as possible down towards Nastasya. We're going to force march her, and then essentially we're going to combine armies either in turn 2 or 3, but I'm going to save that for next time, or I'll do it off video too, just because it's not necessarily boring, but it's one of the lesser important parts. But my future plans for the next few videos, as I wrap up here, are to combine armies, make our march onto the monolith of Bubonicus, wipe out that minor Slaanesh faction that we're at war with, and I do know that Archaon is somewhere around this area too. So let me know in the comments, everyone, if you think that I should try to destroy Archaon, force Confederation with him, or make him my vassal. I do want either of those three things to happen and take care of Archaon, just because of the fact that I know he's going to be a threat to us. But as I wrap up here, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see more of this kind of campaign and this style of narrating and let's play. And also, of course, let me know some things that I can improve on or things that you would like me to add in the next few videos. Until then, friends, I'll save you a seat at the table for the next adventure.
Chaos stays.